Light is an essential component to seeing because without light, we can't see anything. In art, actual light can be used as a medium. Anthony McCall is a contemporary installation artist who uses actual light to create his work. Many of his pieces use projection units in pitch-black spaces to project simple images of lines. By utilizing fog machines, McCall is able to make visible the light of the projected image before it reaches its destination. This results in ethereal planes of light that seem to reference physical planes, such as sheets of fabric. James Turrell is another installation artist who uses actual light to alter the viewer's perception. In the case of Turrell, he takes particular interest in the contrast created between natural and artificial lights. Many of his pieces, like this one entitled Meeting, include an open hole in the ceiling with a clear view of the sky. As the day progresses toward night, the viewer can watch the electric light in the space, which is barely visible next to the intensity of the daylight, transition into the primary source of illumination. Turrell's interest in light stems back to his Quaker upbringing. The Quaker faith believes in the concept of inner light, or a guiding spiritual force within its believers. Turrell's pieces can be seen as a literalization of this notion. This becomes especially clear in this piece, which was designed as a place of worship for the Society of Friends, an actual Quaker congregation in Houston, Texas. If Quaker meeting houses are intended to be places of devotion and reflection, inviting the light from the sky seemed like a natural action. As with the elements of space, mass, and texture, light can also be implied in the two-dimensional realm. This effect is achieved through the use of value. The term value refers to the relative lightness or darkness of an image from white to black. Take a moment to study this value scale. What appears to happen as the central gray bar travels from left to right? Although it seems to get lighter in value, the value of that gray actually remains constant. What is changing is the value that surrounds the bar. What this diagram illustrates is that any particular value is only relative to its surrounding values. For instance, we only know that an 80% gray is dark when compared to a 10% gray. And we only know that a 20% gray is light when compared to a 70% gray. Chiaroscuro is a term from the Italian Baroque that describes the modeling of light and shadow to create an illusion of mass on a 2D surface. When we cast light on a three-dimensional form, its roundness is suggested by the distinction created between light and shadow. By using chiaroscuro, an artist can imply the effect of light on a 3D form, as illustrated in this portrait of a young boy by Annibale Carracci. The work of the Italian Baroque painter Caravaggio shows us that the use of light to convey notions of spirituality in art is something that comes from a long art-making tradition. Caravaggio's use of extreme chiaroscuro lends a very emotional and dramatic reading to his religious subject matter. The figures in his compositions seem to emerge from the murky darkness of their surroundings, such as actors on a theatrical stage. It almost seems as if the players in this scene are themselves the sources of light.